Okay, geometry students, welcome. This is section 10.7. This is the last section of chapter 10. This will be the last new section I post this week. I will also post a chapter kind of review game and a multiple choice little 2-page chapter test. Obviously, none of this is for a grade. I'll be posting the answer keys. You can just kind of do it at your leisure and check yourself, okay? So 10.7, we are writing and graphing equations of circles. Now, this is also going to coincide perfectly with those of you guys that are also taking Algebra 2 for me, because we're going to be talking about circles this week there as well. So first of all, we all know what a circle is. Okay, this whole chapter has been on circles. We've talked about chords and segments and secants and tangents and you name it. So now we're talking about equations of circles. So vocab here, you can write the equation of any circle if you know its radius and the coordinates of its center. Okay, suppose a circle has radius r and center hk. Let xy be a point on the circle. The distance between xy, which is a point on the circle. When they say on the circle, they mean literally the ring around, okay? So this is our point hk. Sorry, that's our point xy. This, our center, is our point hk, okay? And of course, our radius is the distance between the center and that point that's on the circle, xy. So we're using the distance formula, okay? That's all we're doing. Remember, your basic distance formula, okay? Between 2 points, we've learned it and used it many times. x1 minus x2 squared plus y1 minus y2 squared. Well, today, that x1 and x2 are my h and x, and my y1, y2 are my k and y. We're finding the distance between those 2 points, and the distance between the 2 points is the radius, okay? So this right here is the important part here, your standard equation of a circle, okay? Standard equation of a circle looks like this. It's x minus h in parentheses squared plus y minus k in parentheses squared equals r squared. So again, your h and your k gives you your center, okay? Your r is your radius, okay? Your center is your hk, your radius is your r, okay? So let's use that information here. Let's kind of quickly look through their example. Write the equation of the circle shown. Well, you can tell here that your center of the circle is 0, 0. Okay? And your radius obviously is 2. Okay? That's a length of 2. You can just tell that by the drawing. So they kind of skipped a step here, but I just kind of want to point out, here's how you would actually get started. Okay? So our center is 0, 0. Okay? Center is 0, 0. That's where those come from. Well, obviously, x minus 0 is just x. Okay? Y minus 0 is just y. So that's how they go from there to there. And 2 squared is, of course, 4. Okay? So if your center is 0, 0, then you don't have to worry about the minus h or the minus k part. Here, write the standard equation of a circle with center 2, 0 and radius 3.3. Well, you're literally just poking it in the formula. This, remember, is the formula. Your center is your hk. Your hk. That's where it comes from, the 2 and the 0. Okay, so x minus 2 squared plus y squared equals 3.3 squared is 10.89. Okay, now let's look at some of these exercises ourselves, okay? So write the standard equation of the circle with the given center and radius. Number 1, okay? Our center, 0, 0. That's my h and k. My radius here is my r. I'm literally just poking those in the formula. So I've got x minus 0 squared plus y minus 0 squared equals 2.8 squared. Well, that is just x squared plus y squared equal, if you put 2.8 and square it, 7.84. That would be the standard equation of my circle. I'm literally just poking in the x, or sorry, the h, the k, and the r. Okay, number 2, same thing. Here's my h, here's my k. The radius is, of course, my r. Now, I have to be careful because my basic formula, you can still see it up there in the red box at the top of the screen here, is x minus h. So this is actually x minus a negative 3 squared plus y minus 4 squared equals 5 squared. Now, minus a negative 3, we know, is x plus 3 squared plus y minus 4 squared equals 25. This would be my standard equation. Okay, just wanted to kind of show you there that that middle sign is going to change because it's x minus a negative 3. Okay, next one, same thing. Here's my h, here's my k, this is my r. So I've got x minus 0 squared plus y minus a negative 2 squared equals 6 squared. Okay, well, x squared plus y plus 2 squared. Gotta love the dead spots. Let's see if I can scroll down a little more. Y plus 2 squared equals 36. And y minus a negative 2 is y plus 2. Okay. Number 4, again, this is my h, this is my k, this is my r. Okay, so once again, we've got x minus a negative 4 squared plus y minus a negative 1 squared equals 4.6 squared. Okay, well, again, minus a negative, these are just going to turn into plus. X plus 4 squared plus y plus 1 squared equals 21.16. Okay. All right, next page. Now, here we're going to have to write the standard equation of a circle, and we're not just given the radius. We kind of have to figure out what the radius is using the distance formula. So it says the point, here's their example, the point 1, negative 3 is on a circle with center negative 1, negative 1. Okay, so they're showing us this is my center, so that's my h and that's my k in my formula. Okay, the trick here is that we have to calculate this distance to get r. Okay, so that's what they did there. So remember your distance formula, okay, or the part that they have there in your vocab. When we've done distance formula in the past, we've used x1 and x2. Now they're using the x and the h, or the y and the k. So negative 1 minus 1 and negative 1 minus a negative 3. Okay, square root of that. So this, let me just add, I don't really like that they didn't keep going here. This is 4 plus 4, or square root of 8. Okay, and then that gives us 2 root 2. So then, once they know the radius is 2 root 2, then they can plug it in. Okay, so again, here's your h, here's your k, and here's your r. Okay, now let's us do 5 and 6 here. The point negative 3, 1 is on a circle whose center is 2, 3. Write the standard equation of the circle. Now, first thing we have to do is find the distance between the center and the point that's on the circle. That's going to give us our radius. Okay, so let me just write distance between center and point on circle gives us radius. Okay, so r equals square root of, okay, -3 minus 2 squared plus 1 minus 3 squared. Okay, again, it's x minus h squared plus y minus k squared. Okay, square root of all of that gives us r. So remember, so -3 minus 2 squared and 1 minus 3 squared, that gives us the square root of -5 squared plus -2 squared. Okay, that is 25 plus 4, or square root of 29. Okay, I hope you guys see that. Square root of 29. Now, we have to write the standard equation of a circle. So again, my center, this is my h and k. Okay, so my equation is going to be x minus 2 squared plus y minus 3 squared equals the square root of 29 squared. Well, obviously the square root of 29, the square root and the square are going to cancel. So this leaves me with x minus 2 squared plus y minus 3 squared equals 29. That would be my final answer. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Okay, now the next one. A point 0.06 is on a circle whose center is -2, -1. Okay, write the standard equation of the circle. So again, first we have to find r. So r is going to be the square root of, okay, 0 minus a -2 squared plus 6 minus a -1 squared. Okay, well, this is the square root of 2 squared plus 7 squared, which is 4 plus 49, or the square root of 53. I hope you guys can see that. Okay, so that's my r. Now again, if I go to write it in equation form, remember this is my h and this is my k. So I have x minus a -2 squared plus y minus a -1 squared equals the square root of 53 squared. Well, obviously I can clean that up a little bit, right? So I end up with x plus 2 squared plus y plus 1 squared equals 53. The square root that's squared, square root and squares cancel. Okay, hope you guys see that. Hope that makes sense. Okay, moving on down. Now we have to graph a circle based on the information they give us. Okay, and that is honestly probably the easiest part of all of this, I think. Well, other than you all know my drawings suck. But I actually have added some graph paper to the next page of these notes. So they give us the equation of a circle. Let's first, well, actually, no, I'm going to go to the next page and I'm going to rewrite the equation. Okay, so let me get to some graph here. So this first one says our equation of the circle is x minus 2 squared plus y minus 4 squared equals 25. Now, let's remember that this is my h, this is my k, and this is my r squared. Okay, so that means that r equals square root of 25, which is 5. And my center is hk, which is 2 comma 4. Okay, radius is 5. So that's what I'm drawing. Okay, so 2, 4. Here's my center. Okay, my radius is 5. So here's what I like to do. I like to count up, down, left, and right in all 4 directions there, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you all know I kind of suck at drawing, but something like that, that is the saddest circle ever known to man, but you get the idea. Okay, so this right here is my radius, which is 5. Okay, next problem. Okay, the next problem is, let me scroll down. We've got x plus 6 squared plus y plus 5 squared equals 100. Now, again, keep in mind, your basic form of your equation is x minus h and y minus k. All right, so this tells me then that out of here, 6 is equal to a negative h, and 5 is equal to a negative k. Okay, this of course is my r squared, so that means my r equals the square root of 100, which is 10. Okay, my center then, my center is going to be -6, -5, and of course my radius is going to be 10. I hope you guys can see that. Okay, so again, this was our basic form, was x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. Okay, so that means that a positive 5 equals a negative k, or k equals -5. So same thing with the h equals -6. Okay, so I'm going to count this square, or this square, this circle. I should say this Cartesian plane, or this rectangular coordinate system, the square graph, maybe I should say, by 2's. Okay, so let me mark that first of all. I'm going to count these by 2's. Okay, so now my center is -6, -5. So 2, 4, 6 to the left, 2, 4, 5 down. So this right here would be my center. Okay, if I'm counting by 2's. Then a radius of 10. So once again, I like to measure up, down, left, and right in all 4 directions. Radius of 10. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Again, I'm essentially going 5 blocks, right? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So these are like the outside edges here of my circle. Again, kind of sad, but once again, this is my radius, which is 10. Okay, and my center is -6, -5. All right, I hope that makes sense. Okay, let's dive into the practice A and do a couple of problems together. It's pretty straightforward. So, practice A here says match the equation of a circle with its description. I'm not going to do any of those together because I think that is pretty self-explanatory. Okay, you're just picking out the center and the radius. And remember your basic form, okay, let me rewrite it up here at the top, is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared, where your center is hk, okay, and your radius is r. Okay, just want to remind you of that. Okay, let's do 10 together. Now, this next section, it says give the center and radius of the circle. Okay, so number 10, first of all, this is definitely your k. This is actually your negative h, right? Because that's a plus and the original has a minus in it. This is your r squared. So that means if I were to rewrite this, this would be like x minus a negative 1 squared plus y minus 1 squared equals 2 squared. Okay, so then I could say that my center is negative 1, 1, and my radius is 2. Okay, I hope you guys can see that. Center is negative 1, 1, and radius is 2. Okay. Look at number 14. It says write the standard equation of the circle. Now they give us the graph. We have to pick out the important parts. So obviously my center looks like it is a 0, 2. Okay. And if I count my radius here, looks like I'm going up by 2's. So my radius is 2. Okay. So my equation would be x minus 0 squared plus y minus 2 squared equals 2 squared. So this is x squared plus y minus 2 squared equals 4. This would be the standard equation of my circle. Okay, hope that makes sense. Let's scroll on down to number 24. Write the standard equation of the circle with the given center and radius. So again, this is my h, this is my k, this is my r. I don't know, my r didn't come out very well. Okay, so writing that equation, we've got x minus a negative 5 squared plus y minus a negative 1 squared equals 8 squared. Okay, just got to clean that up a little bit. X plus 5 squared plus y plus 1 squared equals 64. Okay, hope you guys see that. Next page. Now, use the given information to write the standard equation of the circle. Let's do 26. Now, in order to have the standard equation, we got to have the center, which they give us. Okay, they do give us that. So here's the center. So this is my h and k. We have to find the radius. Okay, so they gave us the center and they gave us a point on the circle. So we have to find the radius. So right here, my radius, again, is just the distance formula. So this is 3 minus 0 or 0 minus 3 squared, it doesn't matter, plus 4 minus 0 or 0 minus 4 squared, again, doesn't matter. So this is going to be 9 plus 16, which is square root of 25, which is 5. Okay, now that means then with that center and radius, I'm going to have x minus 0 squared plus y minus 0 squared equals 5 squared. So final answer, x squared plus y squared equals 25. Okay, hope that makes sense. It's number 26. Okay, let's look at number 31. Determine the diameter of the circle with the given equation. Now, I want to remind you that diameter equals 2 times the radius, right? The diameter is a chord that goes through the circle's center. So that means it's twice the radius. So all we have to do here on 31 is figure out what the radius is. Well, my radius is actually I should say my radius squared is 16. So that means the radius is square root of 16, or 4. So that means that my diameter is 2 times 4, or 8. Okay? Didn't need the center. All I needed was the radius in order to find the diameter. Okay, hope that makes sense. Let's look at 35. Here we are graphing the equation. So we've got to find the center and we've got to find the radius. Okay, now my center on this one, my h is going to be 0. My k is going to be -2, right? Because y plus 2 is like y minus a -2 squared. So k is -2. Okay, r squared equals 9. So that means r equals 3, the square root of 9. So that's really what I need to know here. So my center is 0, -2, right here. Now, if I am graphing that circle, I've got a radius of 3. So I'm going to the right 3, I'm going down 3, I'm going left 3, I'm going up 3. So here is my circle. That might be the best one I've made. It's still not great. I can't even get it to meet at the top, but you get the idea. Okay, so again, radius is 3, and the center was 0, -2. Okay, let's look at 39. It says, determine whether the point lies on the circle described by the equation. Now, if something lies on the circle, then the distance from that point to the center should exactly be the radius. Okay, so that's kind of the key to this whole thing. Okay, distance from point on circle to the center should equal the radius. So distance from point on circle to the center should equal the radius. So if we're looking at number 39, first of all, let's figure out what my center is. Okay, this is my h, this is my k, right? So my center is 2, 6. My radius is going to be 5 because it's the square root of 25. So those are 2 points that I need to know. So on 39, what I'm looking for here is the distance from 4, 2 to the center 2, 6. And that distance should equal 5 if that point is on the circle. Okay, so let's figure out what the distance is. Distance should be 4 minus 2 squared plus 2 minus 6 squared. Well, that is the square root of 2 squared plus -4 squared. Well, that is 4 plus 16, which is root 20. Root 20 is 2 root 5. That does not equal 5. Okay? 2 root 5 does not equal 5. Remember, 5 is the radius we're looking for. So this is a big fat no. Okay, that point does not lie on the circle because the distance from that point to the center does not equal the radius. Okay. All right, number 41, I'm just going to kind of give you a hint. 41 says you're making a math, or you're using a math software program to make a pattern for a plastic part. You draw the pattern on a coordinate plane with units and millimeters, and the bottom left corner is the origin. So this right here, okay, is 0, 0. That's what they're talking about. Write an equation for the circular hole. Now remember, in order to write an equation for a circle, you need center and radius. Okay, well, first of all, we can figure out the radius pretty easy. This 16 millimeters is the diameter. Would you agree to that? That's the width of the circle, if you will. So that means that the radius is going to be 1/2 the diameter, right? Which is 1/2 of 16, or 8. So that's the first thing you need. The next thing you need is the center. Now, my hint to you is, again, from here to here is 40. So from here to the center is going to be that radius of 8. So the x coordinate of your center would have to be 40 plus 8. Whoops, and then I just wrote 44. 40 plus 8, or 48. Okay, so these two numbers get you 2/3 of the way there, kind of. Okay, now you'd have to find the y coordinate of your center. And then once you have your center coordinate, you can write the standard equation of the circle. Okay, so these are my hints for you. Okay, it's not done. All right, I'm going to stop there. Now, again, this is the last section in chapter 10. So this is my last recording for geometry this week. I will also be posting a chapter review game and a little quick 2-page multiple choice test, just to kind of see how well you remember chapter 10. So I will get those posted. Okay, again, all of this is voluntary, just for you.